Hey, what up, creepers? This is Jimmy Haight with Hammer News on Super Creep TV, bringing you the news for the days of January 23rd through January 29th, 2017. So, good news, folks. We get a brand new microphone snatched off the very tippy top of the bargain bin. Now you'll be able to hear every sigh of exasperation, every hiccup of my hangover, and every hint of disillusion in my voice. Enjoy, friends. So, first up, a 22-year-old New Zealand man wasn't able to show the restraint of an 8-year-old when he went to a McDonald's to order his chicken nuggets. I mean, it's weird when a fast food joint runs out of a staple, but, you know, it fucking happens. Boo fucking who? Eat a chicken burger covered in honey and make an angry post on Facebook like any other person detached from real issues. Dumb nuts. But no, this guy was over being guided towards reasonable substitutions, or having appropriate responses to anything, probably. But being a guy who takes his self-defense very seriously, he happened to be carrying around a couple of Nerf guns, because that's what adults do, right? What happened next, according to bystanders, was an almost play-by-play reenactment of a scene from the film Falling Down. I'm assuming complete with a high fade and BCGs, because dude sounds like a fucking nerd. He jumped up on the counter and shouted obscenities while firing his neon-colored firearms at any motherfucker who dared cross his path. Was this entertaining to the employees going about their doldrums of the working day, or was it just a horrifying, reality-solidifying experience? Did this push them to the edge of insanity, or were they just too jaded at this point to give a shit? Well, who the fuck knows, because that information wasn't included in this non-news story. What was, however, included was the follow-up. Luckily, the complete skid mark of a human stumbled upon the only judge in New Zealand with a sense of humor and was fined a mere $100 for his antics. Moral of the story, can't honestly tell you, but it probably has something to do with the fact that $100 will buy a bitch a whole hell of a lot of chicken nuggets. So, due to a small error, a little Irish town is just getting plagued with calls intended for an X-rated phone service. Not that I would personally know anything about that. I'm an upstanding citizen to be looked up to. I wasn't even aware that porn lines were still a thing. I'd assumed that the internet killed the porn line stars a long time ago, but I guess people have a deep-rooted desire for human contact or some garbage. People trying to place the offending calls are residents of Ireland not entering an international dialing code to call out to the UK-based phone service, which happens to have a similar number. So the town is just getting these calls at all hours of the night from unsuspecting horn dogs, just trying to get their jollies, really. I mean, as far as plagues go, I'm not sure if historically there's any involving semen, but I haven't read the Bible in a while either, so I mean, next time I get an hourly motel with my Craigslist date, I'll have to steal a Bible and brush up on my Old Testament, I suppose. So, here's one as short and sweet as a carjacking and unintentional kidnapping get. So this 10-year-old kid was warming up the car before school, just getting it nice and comfy cozy for his parents to whisk him off to some good old-fashioned standardized testing and social pressure. But before his mom could get in, a couple jumped in and beat her to the punch and just took off, not realizing there was a kid in the back seat. But anecdotal evidence has proven time and time again that carjackers are not usually synonymous with kidnappers, so these two are perplexed as to what to do with this kid in the back seat. But seeing as how these two weren't complete fucking monsters, they decided to still drop him off at school, so they pulled over to the nearest alley and just kicked him out, saying, "Have a good day at school," apparently referencing the School of Hard Knocks with fucking Professor Hobo over there. Well, they never found the car, but the kid made it back home safe and sound, so I guess that constitutes a happy ending, right? So, here's a story that I'm sure any of our viewers in a long-term relationship can relate to. Back in September, a fella got into an argument with his old lady, and from the sounds of it, this happened all the time for the two of them. This wasn't what you would traditionally call a stable relationship. Not that I'm any sort of authority on that subject, but That's not coming into play here. The argument that sent the man off on a quest to Felony Town happened to be about a broken laundry dryer. Right then and there, he came up with his plan. He wrote out a note in front of his wife and said to her, "I'd rather be in jail than at home with you." He then waltzed his ass over to the bank, a bank conveniently located a stone's throw away from the local police station, which, not really surprisingly, comes into play very soon. With the ink still wet on his newly scrawled missive, he walked into the bank and presented it to the teller, and it read as such: "I have a gun, give me money." Simple but eloquent. I don't think I personally could have made one better than that. Now, standard bank procedures kicked in, and Dude Man was handed a couple grand. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You would think he'd take this time to go off and start his brand new life, but instead of running out and attempting to not get shot, which is standard bad guy procedure, he just sat down in a nearby chair and watched the world go by. And by that, I mean he sat down and looked upon the very confused faces of the bank patrons and employees just staring back at him. Now, when the almost certainly baffled bank security person moved into action, Robber Guy quickly responded with, "I'm the one you're looking for," and just handed him the bag of cash back, apparently not interested in ending his day in a pool of blood and a pile of brass. Now, bank police quickly arrived at the bank, which isn't surprising, seeing as how it's located a stone's throw away from the bank. And they whisked him off to his new vacation place behind bars, which, is probably going to be forever or 10 years or whatever. But this week, he appeared in court, surprisingly enough, accompanied by his wife. He entered his guilty plea and is awaiting to hear what kind of punishment he's to receive. So we'll get a follow-up on that. Or not, because we've already heard the interesting point, and who fucking cares about the rest of it? And that, I guess, is another one down. If you want to find me, you can follow the stench and the trail of empties of the Chuck E. Cheese. I'm trying to win enough tickets for a pack of smokes. No, I mean, I know they don't give you cigarettes in exchange for tickets there. I've got a deal going with one of the kids that hangs out there all the time. He smokes like a fucking chimney, so I guess ultimately I'm doing him a favor. If you liked our video, please like and subscribe. If you have any news tips you think we'd like, you can send a message to supercreeptv@gmail.com with the subject of Newsroom. We would very much like to thank our Patreon supporter, Mary Poppins. And if you are also interested in helping, you can head over to patreon.com/supercreeptv. Check us out on Twitter and Facebook to boot. And yeah, that's it. Check us out next week, next Monday, for another train wreck of an episode. Bye.
Feeling caught my sweetest soul.